Good morning and welcome to Odoo Live. My name is Noel, Community Manager here at Odoo San Francisco. Today we'll be talking about Odoo Fleet, and I am joined by Vanessa, one of our channel account managers here at Odoo. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a channel account manager, and today I'll be presenting fleet management. And my goal for this webinar or tutorial is to go over with all the features that we have on fleet management. It's basically, as I would say, like a repository for information. So I'm going to walk you through the app, and then after that, you can always ask questions at the end, and I'll leave you my information and our event information so that if you have any questions that you haven't thought about it, during the presentation, you can always reach out to me, all right?
Exactly, yes. As Vanessa said, if you have any questions about Odoo Fleet, please, you can put them in the chat below and we'll get to them at the end during our Q&A session. And if you showed up late or would like to watch this webinar again at your leisure, just use this same link that you're using to watch this video now and view it day or night at your convenience after we're finished being live. So with that being said, go ahead, take it away, Vanessa.
All right, thanks. Are we showing our screen?
We are indeed.
Awesome, thank you. So here we have, just a basic Odoo dashboard, and I have only downloaded Fleet, the Fleet app, and this is what we're going to be presenting. I have decided to only show Fleet today. Just to be, clarify it from the beginning, Fleet Manage does not integrate completely out of the box, with all the other apps. These can be done, of course, using some configuration, and furthermore, if you want to do some development, of course. But I just want to, clarify it from the beginning that this is what we're going to be doing. This is why it's going to be like a shorter webinar. Let's get into it. To start, you see that I have a lot of vehicles here. This is something that I imported from another, from an Excel file, so that we have some information so that we can play with it. But we are also going to show you how to create a vehicle from scratch. We're going to start, I want to show you some things on configurations. So on configurations, you will see that we have the models already here. We have Audis, BMWs, all the good stuff, Mercedes. The model, and then it's already created, the model make of the vehicles. We have, everything with the brand and the picture. So like I said, this was also imported into Odoo for this webinar. The service types, so we included some service types in here, so we have it pre-configured. For example, we can do an example of a repair and maintenance, or summer tires or snow tires, some type of a service. We have contract types. For this webinar, we have Omnium and a leasing contract. You can always add some contracts that are specific to your company. Policies and all. We also have, on the configuration, you can always add a vehicle status, if it's active, inactive. These ones I added as a sold, or if it's a scrap vehicle. And vehicle tags, we can always create tags, and then I'm going to be showing you while we're, creating our vehicle, how it's done. You can create tags on the fly. These ones are something that I created prior to the webinar. Okay, let's go. So reporting, this button, we're gonna go over it towards the end after we create the vehicle. And here are what are we actually gonna cover today. So we're gonna create a vehicle. I'm gonna show you the odometer logs. We're gonna go over costs. We're going to also be covering the contracts. So we're going to create a contract for the vehicle that we are going to create from scratch. And, And then I'm also going to show the fuel logs and the service logs. This is something very important. It's like I said from the beginning, it's a repository of information so that you can track and you can manage and you can always keep track of the history of the vehicle, and as well as share and import, export this information if you need it for a cause, in your company. So the important thing is it's very organized in the way that you can extract all of this information and have tables and that is related to specifically to that vehicle or specific to the person who's in charge of the vehicle. So let's get into it. Let's create a vehicle from scratch. Yeah. So here we have a bunch on our dashboard. I'm going to go over the dashboard as well and towards the end. As you can see, those are the contract vehicles that have contracts. And I'm going to go over this sign right here as well. Create. Let's create one. I was thinking about we take care of our trucks. And this company, we want to know what's going on with our, let's say, I like the Mack trucks. So let's do a Mack. Let's say I don't know the brand. Let's say it's a Mack 150. I'm making this up just so you guys know. All right. And then it's asking me for the make. I don't know who makes them. Let's say BMW makes it. It doesn't matter. I don't know who makes it. All right. So and then we're gonna go to license plate. We can pick, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very creative. And then a driver, I'm gonna create a driver on the flight. The drivers are usually on your list of contacts. I can pick myself, Vanessa. Well, let's create one on the flight. We're gonna call this driver, let's say our friends here. Let's call it Rodrigo, my manager. Why not? Location. We are located in San Francisco. I'm gonna put San Francisco. Chassis number would be what we call here in US VIN number. We can have letters and numbers and all that. I think let's just do the numbers just in case Odoo doesn't. Model year, it's a 2018 brand new truck. It's we just bought it. It's brand new, and the immatriculation date. This is a interesting translation. It's basically the date that you register your vehicle. So that's the yearly registration that you have to do. Let's say that we bought this vehicle on the 1st, and we registered on the 3rd, okay, of this month. The value, let's say we bought it for 80,000. Trucks are not cheap. I know that. Like how many seats? Let's say 2. So this is additional information. Doors, we say 2. Color, red. Let's make it shiny. All right. So transmission. Well, let's say it's a manual. I have seen trucks, most of them are manual, diesel. In case your company has, the CO2 emission and you wanted to report all those, but yeah, this is something that you can fill out here. Horsepower, I'm not a truck expert. I don't know what this horsepower is going to be and the taxation and all related to it. So let's keep it simple for now. This is the tags that I was telling you. Since I said my manager is the one driving this truck, let's put him as a senior person in our company, and we save. Here at the top, as you can see all the what we call here at Odoo the smart buttons, and then for everything related to the vehicle, you can always track if there's a contract, if there are costs, service, fuel, odometer. Later on, I'm gonna go back to Mac, and you will see after we have done some transactions and logged some services and fuel, you will see all that this information is added over here as well. Okay. So let's create a contract first. So we'll see it right here. Vehicle contracts. Create one from scratch. We're gonna use the Mac one that we just created. You can filter here and find it. It's let's do a leasing for this. The activation cost, let's say we bought it. The activation for it is 150. That's fairly cheap. And recurring cost, let's say that on a monthly base, we pay for this truck 1,000. And let's go odometer. As we have said, maybe at the time of the creation of the lease, it had 500. Right here is in kilometers. Did I change this in the vehicle? Well, right here is in kilometers. This can be changed to miles, just so you guys know. But, you know, except for us, everybody else use kilometers.
Right, yeah.
But this can be changed. Monthly, the invoice date. Right here it has today's date, but I'm gonna change it to the 3rd. Let's say we bought it and the contract started on the 3rd as well. Contract expiration date, it's gonna be 1 year from there. Let's say the 3rd. Okay. So this is very important, the expiration, because you'll see later on when I show you, because Odoo, what Odoo will do, it will send you a notification whenever something is expiring. And the tabs up here, you will see that right now it's an incoming, it's in progress, and then whenever it's expired or expiring soon, you will see it here, that the contract, so it moves the tags and you'll get a notification for this. Okay, and then renew, everything is okay. I would like, in order for us to see this cost, the recurring cost, and this is why also I put it on past date, we are going to go, I'm gonna open another tab here, and I'm gonna, run a schedule for this. It's a trick, of course, so we're gonna go debug right now. We'll go to settings so that you can see the immediate effect of this. Why is it not going to? All right, 1 second. Copy. No, it's okay. Yeah. Cool. So once you're in debug, you can actually see this button. It's technical. And we go here for schedule actions. And right here we see fleet, generate contracts cost based on cost frequency. That's going to show us the recurring cost for this truck, which is the lease recurring cost. We're running manually. Right? Did it work? Yes, I think so. All right, let's see. Yeah. So right here now we can see under this tab recurring cost, the 1,000 that I was talking about. So that's one of the costs. At the end, I'm also going to be showing other costs related to this specific vehicle, and we're also going to be showing like a pivot table and all. All right, cool. So this is it for the contracts. If we, as I have said, if we go to now, let's say we have to put a log, and this driver, Rodrigo, is gonna go to the gas station and he's gonna fill it up. Let's say he needs, I don't know how many liters let's say 60, And the price per liter, like I said, all of these can be modified to our gallons. We will say that the price per liter is 2, and it calculates 120 right away. At the time that we fueled this gas, this truck had, we'll say, 600 kilometers on it. And the purchaser was Rodrigo. And then we can always put an invoice reference and a vendor here. We don't have a vendor. Let's just say that he went to a Chevron. So this is one of the few logs that I have said that we can always keep track of, whatever has been consumed or all the costs related to this specific truck. The same thing can be done with the service logs. We can create a service log for this specific truck, and let's say that, here, I think there is let's search for more. I want to find one that I created that's fun. Let's do a car wash. Fun, huh?
Yeah, it's very fun.
That's sticky. So let's say that we paid for this car, this car wash, 100 to clean this truck because somebody messed up. And then we're gonna save it, or actually let's add the odometer here as well. At the time, this odometer had 650 kilometers. All right, cool. The other thing that I think that it's worthwhile, it's just like, let's go to the odometer and show what changes has been done with the specific vehicle, which is Mac. So remember when we were when we added the fuel to this truck, diesel, at the time the truck had 600. So it automatically, and then it went to a car wash, and then I put 650 kilometers for the truck. So as you can see, and even though it was a log for service and for diesel and for gas, basically, it automatically creates a log on odometer. So every time you create something and you adjust the odometer, it will log right here. So, which, I think it's pretty cool. So we're all synchronized, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think, is everything okay, or any questions? Or we'll leave it to the end, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. All right. So let's go over, cost. I think associated with this vehicle specifically. I mean, here, because I have I imported a lot of information, you see a big mess, I guess. Let's go to this. It's a little more clean, and it's a pivot table. You see all the direct costs or the real costs related to all the vehicles that we had so far. Let's search for our Mac. So when we do this, it's only gonna show Mac at this point, and you will see we have a contract right now. As you can see, it shows. Let's see. Created on, last updated, name, odometer, type. Let's see, it shows. Yes, it does show. So if we add this, it shows the type of cost related to it. And right now in leasing, because we added 150 for the fixed cost as starting a contract, and another 1,000 for the recurring, which we ran the schedule. And then we have fuel. And the fuel cost was 120, and the service. So you can see it all here separate. You can see all the costs related to these vehicles specifically, and of course we can always have it as in this form, or we can always filter other like vehicles and costs related to every single one of them. This information can be exported using this button right here, and right away we have an Excel file, and with you guys can't see it because it opened on my other screen, but anyways, you have an on your Excel file. Let me show you super fast. Yeah, right here. Okay. let's see what else. Pivot tables, vehicle. Yeah, let's go to vehicles again. And like I said, we can always, these filters that in Odoo, they're very powerful, and I think it's worth spending a little time here. Showing the ability for you, for example, to to filter by location, contains or it's equal to, let's say, contains. We're talking about our San Francisco, and how many. Let's see how many cars apply to San Francisco. We have Hyundai. Huh. But what about mine? All right, let's group by. That's better. Let's see. Group. Add a custom group. We'll put location. That's better. And then add. So as you can see, you can locate all the vehicles right here related to this account. Let's find San Francisco. Yeah, we'll see it. We see Mac right here on San Francisco tab because I put it all in capital letters, and it shows it differently than the other one that I'm gonna show you that it's in lowercase and uppercase. And we even have another one that I was running a test that it's just SF. Anyways, so all the locations, if they're related to a warehouse, to a transportation agency, and all. If those vehicles that are for the fire alarm, for the grounds, so you don't have to name a city, but sometimes you can locate a department, or you can always let's say filter by the person, the driver. Driver contains let's call it Rodrigo again, and then we'll find it. So this vehicle is only related to Rodrigo. Rodrigo is the only driver of this vehicle. So that's another thing from what I have seen so far. Each vehicle has to be allocated to one driver unless you actually create on contacts a department and you relate to that vehicle to the department. But that's up to you. It's going to be hard for you to keep track of, in terms of accountability. If that's not important, and then, that can be arranged, of course. Okay. Let's see if, going back to the dashboard, I'm almost done, so we'll answer the questions. So just going back to the dashboard, as you can see, this one, as I said, I would go back to it. It has a warning and one contract related to it. Let's not in progress. That's why I had a filter for in progress. So this one right now shows expired. So this contract ended on the 4th, as you can see. So it gives us a warning that it has been expired. So this is awesome, like for example, for an Omnium or for insurance, you want to make sure that you are on track of it. Or, if you have a contract, other contracts, internal contracts inside your company, you want to ensure that you are taking care of it before it expires, of course. But in this case, it always going to show you on the log, and then discuss. Let's see if discuss. It will show this too. No. All right. And let's go back to Mac just for one purpose. We're going to see on those smart buttons that I've told you that now we have, you have one contract associated with this Mac, and it's here. We have 4 costs associated with it. It's the car wash, the leasing, the fuel, and the other fixed cost on the leasing. We have one service, which is the one that we did, the car wash, and fuel. We fill it up the tank, and 2 logs on the odometer. That were logged because of the service and because of the fuel log, and that's basically it for now. Should we go over the questions?
Yes, of course. I'm going to give folks an opportunity to answer or ask any last-minute questions that they might have. But in the meantime, I would like to remind everyone that if you missed any part of this or would like to watch this presentation again, you can always use this link that you used to watch right now and watch this presentation anytime at your convenience. Additionally, if you have questions that either we can't get to today or perhaps not related to Odoo Fleet, you can always send us an email to webinars@odoo.com. Or additionally, if you want to specifically speak with Vanessa, they can send you an email. What's your email address?
It's WM as in Mary, A@odoo.com.
Great. So let's see. We do have a question, actually. Jennifer and Hector, I believe, asked a similar question.
Okay.
Can you attach a gas receipt when the driver goes to the gas station and makes that fuel entry?
Oh, let's look into it. I'm pretty sure you can, but I
I believe so,
wanna
too.
show. I wanna show because
Exactly, yeah.
just like Odoo CRM, many of the important things here can be attached to the truck. Let's say, for example, if you want to attach any document and related to this truck, it can be done here, just using this. I don't know if I want to show you guys anything, but anyways, you can just add it here. If you want to communicate with anyone inside your company, you can always use this field and add it, like field, please log this and invoice, something like that. And then you assign it to this person, and as soon as you put it as a log, they will receive a notification. If you are internally, you can always use Discuss. Discuss is also part of those free apps that you can use on Odoo. And this person will always get a notification here, and they will get an email as well. Let's go back to fuel specifically, because she asked for fuel. Let's create another one. Specifically, I'm looking here. You cannot log or attach a receipt into fuel, as from what I can see here. 40. I don't care. Let's say 4. Yeah, as I said, you can't. You can always do an invoice reference, so you can say invoice 21, and then choose a vendor of your choice. Let's call it log company fleet, and then save it. But you cannot, not on the log, you can actually put a receipt on it. Okay. But like I said, it's always possible to go to these vehicles specifically, and you can add as many notes and as many, attachments to these specifically vehicle. So.
Great. Here's an interesting one. Looks like Very10 asked, can you create regular service based on mileage or engine hours, for instance, like an oil change?
Regular service?
Yeah, so like to schedule, I guess, regular maintenance like that.
Regular maintenance. So yeah, a great question. No, I will say. So these, the service logs is really just to entry the information and keep track of all the costs related to that vehicle. Using Fleet alone, that cannot be done. However, you can always integrate a Fleet with our, equipment or even maintenance. That is possible. You will have to use, right now I have it here, which is our Studio tool.
Right.
Studio can basically integrate any app with all the other apps if they are not integrated out of the box. So, I as a salesperson, a channel account manager, we can walk you through the steps of doing that. But you would have to use Studio, or our experts, our consultants can also help with that, if this is something that you want to do. And then if you do that, of course, you can, schedule a service, you can schedule a person, allocate, all the resources and the vendors and the warranties or whatever it is, using equipment or depending on the company maintenance. Okay.
Gotcha. Well, all right. It looks like, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I
Yes.
think that's...
Those are the questions then.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us here. I'd like to remind you all to stay tuned to all of our Odoo events. You can see all of that information at odoo.com/events. Today we are in Toronto, but we'll also be all over the U.S. We've got events coming up in San Francisco this month, I think the week of September 12th, I believe. And again, you can find all of that information at odoo.com/events. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can continue making these videos for you all. And if you have any remaining questions, again, send us an email to webinars@odoo.com or directly to Vanessa at
WMA@odoo.com. I'll be happy to walk you through the little tricks of Fleet and engaging with the other apps.
Exactly.
All right?
So then, if there's nothing else to add, Vanessa?
No, I'm good.
Great.
Thank you very much for everybody that is watching.
And we'll see you next time.
All right.